Good evening, councillors, staff and members of the public. I declare the Ordinary Council meeting on the 31st of July 2024 open at 5:31 p.m. Everyone can please stand if you can, please. I wish to acknowledge the Gadigal people as the traditional custodians of the land that we're meeting on and recognise their strength, resilience and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Thank you, everyone. Item number 3. This meeting is being live streamed and audio recorded to facilitate community participation for minute-taking purposes, which may be released upon request to third parties. In accordance with Clause 616 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders, Local Law 2014, members of the public are not permitted to use any visual, audio or electronic device to record any meeting unless the presiding member gives permission to do so. Members of the public are also reminded that in accordance with Clause 617-4 of Standing Orders, mobile phones must be switched off and not be used during the meeting. 3.1 attendance. I note that all councillors are present, exception with Councillor Bennett and Councillor Blanco, who are on apologies, and it will be listed under the item number 3.1 of the minutes. 3.2. Attendance by telephone, entertainers communication, there is nil. 3.3 apologies. We have apologies from Councillor Bennett and Councillor Blanco. 3.4 approved leave of absence. CEO, do you have any approved leave of absence at all?
No, we have none, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. 3.5 disclosure of interest. CEO, have you received any disclosure of interest at all?
No, I've received none, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, CEO. Item number 4, approval of leave of absence. So you have received any approval of absence at all?
And again, Mr. Mayor, I've not received any applications.
Okay, thank you, CEO. Item number 5, response to previous questions. Response to questions received at the Ordinary Council meeting held on the 25th of June 2024 have been provided to individuals and are detailed in the agenda. Response to questions taken on notice at the special electors meeting held on the 19th of June have been provided to electors with response recorded in the night's agenda. Item number 6, public time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an opportunity for members of the public to ask questions of council regarding tonight's agenda and business of local government. Clause 67-3 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders Local Laws requires members of the public wishing to ask questions to complete the question form and place the completed form in the tray provided. If myself, the presiding member, determines that questions or statements are out of order or due to offensive or excessive expression or defamatory, they will not be recorded, considered, nor responded to. 6.1, public question time. I declare public question time open at 5:34 p.m. CEO, have you received any public questions at all?
No, I've received none, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, CEO. Any members of the public wish to ask any questions of council, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
Roger Higgins, 119 Edgar Street. Mr. Mayor, I'm following up with some questions that I addressed to you at the last council meeting, and these related to your primary return and your annual return of the town of Port Hedland. Now, I understand that you've got until the 31st of August to update them, but I asked you a specific question last time about your past declaration. I'm asking the question with respect to the declaration that you made. In your primary declaration, you indicated that you were at the time living at Robert Street, and on the at the council meeting of last, I asked the following question of you, quote, "We are led to believe, Mayor, that your address has changed from Robert Street. My question is, have you updated the town register with respect to your new address?" You replied, "Yes, I have." For clarification, Mayor, which of your addresses, as submitted in your annual returns to date, is your actual residential address at this point in time?
It will be on the agenda. It will actually be in the written on the when I submit the thing which I've written it up. Haven't actually submitted it yet, but it will be on their item number there. You'll see it shortly. Thank you.
So do I take that to mean, because there are two different addresses, so which one is your correct one at the moment?
You'll see it on the thing. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't
You'll
hear
see
that.
it. You'll see it when I put it in. You'll see it. Okay.
Are you taking that question on notice or what?
No, I just said to you when I put the form in, you'll see my address where I'm living in South Hedland. Okay. Thank you. Next
Okay.
question.
So for clarification, Mayor, I'm just really asking which is your address based on the annual returns that you've currently submitted?
Once again,
There are two separate addresses, and I need you to tell me which one.
Mr. Higgins, I've already answered the question before. It'll be written, or you'll see it on the agenda item. You'll see it when I submit my form. You'll see my address in South Hedland. Do you have any other questions at all?
I'm sorry,
do you
I
have-
didn't understand what you're referring to. You're saying there's a separate item.
No,
number
no.
tonight
When I
that
actually
relates-
submit the form on my annual return, you'll see the address on there. Okay.
Yes, I
Thank you.
know
That's it.
the address
thank
on your
you.
annual.
Next
annual
question,
return.
please.
Well, so you're refusing.
Do you
to
have another
clarify my
question? Do you have another question? Yes or no?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
You had some neighbours who lived in Robert Street who for example, tell us that you don't live there now and you haven't lived there for a while. So the question is, what's your actual residential address? Which of those?
Mr. Higgins, I told you before, it'll be on the, when I fill out annual report, annual return, you'll see it on there. That's it, okay?
Yeah, but I'm
Thank you
asking
for-
now
Thank you,
because
three
it's
questions.
relevant.
Thank you. No.
The reason
Mr.
it's
Higgins,
relevant
sit-
is because I asked you a
Mr. Higgins,
question last time.
Mr. Higgins,
which
I've told you
ignored
already.
to
I've already
answer,
told you already, okay?
And I believe
Mr.
that you have
Higgins,
not
I've told
the
you,
truth.
sit down, please. You've had three
No, I
questions.
don't, because this goes to
Yes.
the heart of what's going on.
Yes,
We expect
Mr. Higgins.
truthfulness
Oh.
from the people
Mr.
that
Higgins.
elect to office. And I don't think that you've been truthful.
I have, thank you. Sit down, thank you. I've done it. Thank you. You've had three questions, please sit down. Thank you.
Okay,
Do we
so
have, you've had three questions, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Higgins. You must sit down, thank you. Do you have any other questions at all from the public at all? Okay, I will, yeah, sure, yes, thank you.
Hello, my name is Gillian Fisher. I'm sorry if somebody else wanted to get up. I just thought he may close it quickly, so we have to keep it open. I have some questions from my name is Gillian Fisher. I reside at 3 Mitchie Crescent. I just have some questions about the major land transaction of the Port Hedland Yacht Club that is being discussed tonight. My first one is, it is my understanding that the venue has been leased before to different parties and groups. The current statutory arrangements have sufficed then. Could you please tell me why we need these changes, this major land transaction now?
CEO?
I can. The relationship is now a commercial relationship. Previously, it was a relationship with a community group. Because of that commercial relationship, we're required under the Act to advertise it.
Thank you, CEO.
Okay.
Another question, John?
So my next question that springs to mind from the CEO's response there is, so what is the difference between council upgrading the facilities at the Port Hedland Yacht Club, the venue and the property, which apparently requires a major land transaction, as you've just stated, while recent facilities upgrading at the Rosenauers childcare building, also a Town and Port Hedland property, to my knowledge, did not require a land transaction to complete the works. Can you please, I don't understand the difference. Like we've got two community assets, and I'm just wanting to know.
I'll get the acting Director Mark to fill it in for you. Thank you.
Thank you, through the Mayor. The major land transaction is because it is a land transaction with a commercial entity, but the maintenance costs and upgrade costs are required because it's going from a club licence to a commercial licence for a liquor venue. So when it's a restricted club licence, it has a reduced requirements under the Act, and now that it's transitioning to an open club licence, there's increased requirements for those. With respect to the Rosenauers, I have to pass that over to someone else, unfortunately.
Did you want to continue, CEO? Lee did, sorry.
Maintenance of community facilities don't generally need a major land transaction. So the land transaction is because it is going to a commercial lease, and when the upgrades are because it's going to a commercial lease, and then the lease value on top of that has put it over the threshold monetarily for there to be a major land transaction business case and consultation to be done. So that's the difference.
Okay, so that I'm curious for two things of that. If we change the, as you say, to become a major land transaction, are we creating any loopholes for the sale of this area in the future?
CEO, do you-
Not sure about the question in terms of creating a loophole, but the answer is no.
Oh, sorry, inadvertent loopholes, because this is a community asset and it's granted, it's in a very favourable position.
Agree.
We need some sort of protections, I think.
Well, it's a community asset that's still under the control of the town, albeit through a lease arrangement. And perhaps just to follow up in terms of Rosenauers, Rosenauers is a community lease. It's still a town asset, controlled asset as well. It will still go through a public process, by the way, so whilst there is a significant potentially upgrade to that facility, it'll still go through a public tender process, as will probably the works at the yacht club as well. So there'll still be a number of public processes that we will go through for both of those facilities. One's commercial, one's community.
Right, okay. So with the bowling club now gone into administration, will the Town of Port Hedland people or residents expect something similar for the South Hedland Bowls Club? Like in terms of if the council will spend money on, does it have to go through the major land transaction avenue? Because it is as we said, a licensing of a liquor licensed area.
I think too early to say at this point. It'll be subject of a report that will come back to council in the near future. Council will consider its options for that facility and a public report will be made available.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Do you have any more public questions at all? Okay, come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you. Yeah, pull it down, that's it.
Raylene Button, chairperson of Juliary Aboriginal Corporation and Hedland Aboriginal Strong Leaders. My question today to the council is, are you going to move a motion to remove welcome to country and acknowledgement?
Not to my knowledge, no. It's not on the agenda to move that, no.
Okay, thank you. And I'll come back to the
Yeah,
statement time.
sorry. Do you want?
Maybe just for clarification purposes and the benefit of the people in the gallery, there is a report on tonight's agenda which is for council to consider the recommendations and the motions that came from a electors meeting that was held recently, and one of those electors motions was to consider something similar to what you were suggesting. That hasn't been, it's obviously up for debate tonight, so you'll hear some discussion on that item, but council doesn't have anything before them at this point in time to make the decision that you've just asked.
Thank you, but I'll come back to statement time as well.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Okay, I will close public question time at 5:44 p.m. Okay, public statement time, 6.2. Declare public statement time open at 5:45 p.m. CEO, have you received any public statements at all?
I've received none, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, CEO. Any members of the audience that don't make a public statement at all? Welcome back.
Raylene Button, again, Juliary Aboriginal Corporation chairperson and Hedland Aboriginal Strong Leaders. So this is basically a statement, and this is a statement from the hearts of the Aboriginal people in the community that live in and reside all around the Pilbara. And majority of us call Hedland home. And this is our regional centre where we come to do business. And it's our regional centre where we enjoy the services that's been delivered to our communities. And because of the discussions and what we've seen in the papers around in Northwest Telegraph, which talks about removing acknowledgement and welcome to country, we feel, and this is the reason why my elders are here today, sitting in this audience, and we're making a statement to this council tonight about the recognition and the hard, long fights that we've had to fight for our rights and recognition as the traditional owners of our country, with continuing cultural and living. We have the longest culture in Australia's history as well as anywhere in the world. We are still continuing our culture, our language, and our connection to country. And we don't support the fact that someone comes in to our place that we call country, Angora, and to be told that we are not going to acknowledge us as the traditional owners of our country. We had to fight the federal government, we had to fight the state government, and now today we have to fight our local government. We feel that shouldn't be. If we're about bringing reconciliation and our community together, we need to be supporting our communities and supporting Aboriginal peoples who have the rights to enjoy their rights and interests on their own country. And you should be welcome to country. Nobody was welcome into the country before, and yet here we do it today to give that recognition to our people and to all peoples who come here and enjoy the prospects of this country. At the end of the day, we don't dispute who comes here. You have 69 non-Indigenous groups that live and reside and call Pilbara their home, our country. And you have 31 Pilbara Aboriginal language groups that call this place home and country. And we enjoy the benefits of that. So I don't believe there should be any support in removing acknowledgement to country, removing welcome to country, because it is who we are, it's our identity, and it's our recognition and our rights. And we want to be able to share that without having to be in a place of dispute with other groups, without having to fight for who we are as a people. So I'm putting this statement towards you as a council, and I'm speaking from my heart on behalf of my people and community. We have a lot of PBCs here today, prescribed body corporations, that call Headland home and use this as their place of business. Are we going to tell them that they cannot acknowledge the Kariyarra people who fought 30 years of recognition of their rights and interests in this place? Don't take away what we're trying to build in bringing a community together. So I'm putting this to you as a council member, that as Aboriginal people, we no longer will stay quiet. Irregardless of the voice not making it through the Constitution and was shot down, we still here have a voice, and we're going to exercise it in our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, those very kind words. Thank you. Do you have any more public statements at all? You don't be shy, come forward. Come forward, just put your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
My name is Lauren Greatorex. I'm a proud Mulgana Ningina Jabba Jabba woman. I've been residing here in Headland for the last 10 years. I'm also part of the Headland Emerging Leaders. Before I go on, I will introduce my brother here.
Henry Lockyer, also from South Headland, and also a member of the Headland Aboriginal, Emerging Aboriginal Leaders as well.
We come to the council to stand before you in a time that is quite drastic. We're the younger generation that have come up, representing the Aboriginal young leaders of the Headland and Pilbara area. We come to speak to remove this motion, to acknowledge our elders and our past and our country. We ask that you consider these.
In line with what the previous speaker spoke to in this session, it's important that it's a clear reflection of our community and the unity that we are building within not only the Pilbara, but particularly here in Headland. And we want you to take this into consideration and the impacts and the consequences should something like this be taken on board by the council and it pass. I fear that it will do a lot of the hard work that not only our elders, but people that we've lost and people who have been a part of this town's history have worked towards in forging meaningful and relationships that are going to continue into the future. And so we're hopeful that you consider this when it comes time to discuss and make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do we have any more public statements at all? No more? Okay, I will close public statement time at 5:51 p.m. 6.3. Petitions, applications and submissions. There is none. Item number 7. Question of members out notice. Are there any questions from elected members at all? No, thank you, councillors. Item number 8. Presiding members' meeting for the month of June 2024 are printed in the agenda. Item number 9. I invite all elected members to declare by a show of hands that they have given due consideration to all matters contained within the agenda. Can I have a show of hands, please, councillors? Ash? No? Okay. Thank you. Item number 10. Confirmation of the previous meeting. We have a office recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote. The council confirmed the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 25th of June 2024 are a true and a correct record. Can I have a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Rebello. I have a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Rents. Is anyone against? Motion's passed. Thank you, councillors. 7-0. Before we move on to reports of communities and officers, I remind members of the public not to take action on any council decisions on items in this evening's agenda in which they may have an interest until informally notification in writing by the town has been received. Decisions made at this council meeting may be revoked in line with the Local Government Act 1995. 11.1, Audit Risk Compliance, there is nil. For the next item, I would like to recommend the following items be on block by council, which means these items will not require a decision under the amendment of favour, and maybe items be considered by remove this list is speaking now. Can I have item numbers listed in front of you, councillors? Are there any of those items there you do not wish to count on block at all? Sorry, it's on the screen. It's on the screen and also on the screen as well. You're okay with that? Okay, thank you. You're okay, Tim? Thank you. You okay, Prince? Yep, thank you. You okay? You okay? Right. Ash?
May I ask for 12.1.6 to be removed, please?
12.1.6. Okay. You happy with the rest of those? Yep. You okay? Okay. Can I move on those on blocks then? Thank you. We're taking out 12.1.6. So move. Thank you, Councillor Turner. We'll have a second, please. Thank you, Councillor Rebello. Is anyone against the balance? No. Motion passed 7-0. Thank you, councillors. 12.1 is done. 12.2 is done. 12.3 is done. 12.4 is done. 12.2, yeah, sorry. Okay, 12.1.2, carryover projects. We have an office recommendation before us that requires absolute majority vote. The council adopts the 2023-24 carryover projects and 2, amends the Town of Port Hedland annual budget 24-25. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Move. Thank you, Councillor Turner. Seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Rebello. Is anyone against?
Not against, just requesting a quick amendment.
Yes, certainly, Council.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to quickly grab the information so we can talk through it. And all it is adding section 3 to it, and just highlighting the fact that we have identified the need for the document to be amended, and it will be so done during the general policies of our Q2 review. If you give me 2 seconds, just pulling up the attachment so I can give you the line. So I just wanted to reflect that. I'm just going to have to look in closer so I can see it. Works project number 10091, and its carried forward amount of $134,902 will be taken into consideration at the Q2 budget review.
Can I just clarify, councillor, you're wanting that line item removed?
Well, again, I've been told we can't remove it, so I've been told it's going to be in there, that we're going to carry it forward. And all I'm saying is that we are identifying that now, we identify that it's not going to be needed to be carried forward. So instead of having to go through the rigmarole of changing the paperwork, we just identify that that amount of money will be changed at the Q2 review policy, as per the normal policy and procedures of the Town of Poydon.
Amendment. Yeah, well, yes. Yeah. Is there a second for that amendment? Yes, certainly.
Just through the chair, can Deputy Mayor, if you could read out what the item number is? I'm looking for it in the attachments, but if you have it in front of you, that would be helpful.
Yeah, so it's on page 135 of 710, and it's project number 10091, Colomathan Oval Floodlights Project. That project, from all accounts, has been completed and no longer requires any more money into the 24-25 budget. So all I'm saying is, instead of getting the administration to do the arduous process of redoing all this paperwork, it's just purely just to now identify that, hey, we've identified it, not required, but we'll fix it at the Q2 review.
Okay, is there a seconder for that? Oh, thank you. Councillor McRae. Councillor McRae, yep. Someone.
Just bear with us, Mr. Mayor. I think we're trying to get some wording on the screen for the benefit of councillors.
I can't see it on the screen. Yeah. Yep. happy with those wordings, councillor?
Yeah, happy with that, thanks.
Happy with that? Yeah, I'll find it, yeah. Is there anyone against that motion, that addition? No? Okay. Mrs. Carey? Yep. Yeah, amendment is carried, yes. Okay. Amended, yep. Back to the amended one. Yeah, I've got Councillor Bello as a seconder. Is anyone against? No. Motion's carried. Councillor Bello seconded, yeah.
On the amendment, it was Councillor McRae.
McRae, yep. And on the agenda item, Councillor Bello, yeah. 7-0, yep. Okay, moving on. 12.1.3. Yeah. Okay. 12.1.3, the annual general meeting, special electors meeting report.
Point of order. Can you say that number again, thanks?
12.1.3.
I've got 12.1.4. Can we just confirm?
I've got 12.1.3.
We're talking about annual general meeting of special electors meeting report.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, can we have
12.1.3. You got 3? Great.
report on Aussies?
No, I think you might be looking at a different version, Councillor.
Well, there's nothing in the final agenda, so it can't be on agenda. It can be.
What do you got, Councillor?
So there's nothing in the finals agenda tab of our files, and I've gone to the only file that there is, which is the OCM agenda, which is the only one I've got available to.
Has everyone else got the same agenda item? 12.1.3. Councillor Button, 12.3. Rebello. Yep. 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 Okay.
Okay,
Can I suggest a 5-minute recess while we maybe get someone to look at Harbour for us and make sure that the online version reflects the printed version?
Yep. Okay, I'll take a 5-minute recess at
Mr. Mayor.
You just alter it. Look at, yeah, that's great. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so 12.1.3. We have officers recognised before us that requires a simple majority vote that council, 1, notes and receive the minutes of the annual general meeting of electors held on the 15th of May 2024, and 2, note and receive the minutes of the special council meeting of electors held on the 19th of June 2024, and 3, note the motions passed by electors at the special council meeting on the 19th of June 2024. Can I have a mover, please? Move, Councillor Rentz. Seconder, Councillor Rebello. Is anyone against the motion?
Through the chair, can I propose an amendment to this motion?
Yeah, certainly.
There's a few motions here that bear no semblance, and we've already had the discussion. So motion number 2, vote of no confidence in the mayor. I think we can scratch that. I don't think there's any benefit that we go through that process again. Number 3 is very kind of vague and ambiguous, which could be captured in motion number 5. So I think we can scratch motion number 3 as well. So if we can request that the CEO, so on option 2, in the options at the end, option number 2, that the council, 2 section 3, the council request that the CEO provide a report to the council on the following electors' motions. So if I could get motion number 5 as the first motion on the 30th of October 24. If we could do motion number 4 as the second report to come to council, I would suggest 3 months later. And then motion number 1, report from the CEO brought to the council 3 months again, so kind of 6 months apart, just for those 3 motions.
Thank you, councillors. If you could just bear with us while we craft that and put that back onto the screen so that everyone's clear on what they're voting on.
Yep.
So 5 first, motion 5 first, motion number 4 second, 3 months after the first, and motion number 1, 3 months after that. I think the other motions are kind of encapsulated within the 3 motions that we can get the report on. We don't want to waste, I don't think the other 2 motions are worth wasting the administration's time on.
I've got to ask for a second in a minute.
Councillor McRae, you happy with what's on the screen?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Is there a seconder for that amendment? Councillor Bunsen. Is there any against?
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
If you could please have the motions, if you could have
the names under them?
Yes.
Yep.
And they are available in the attachment. I'm trying to locate it. So if you could.
They are in the report. But which one's on the screen? That's fine. Yep.
Through the chair, for anyone's reference, it's page 141 of the attachments of the 710 we've got. So if you want to have a look at the motions that were referenced in this item, it's page 141.
put on the screen. Yep. Yep. Okay, so I have a mover and a seconder. Is anyone against? Councillor Rebello. Okay, Councillor McRae, do you want to talk to your motion?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Carter. Full respect to the electors that brought the 5 motions to us back last month. The first of those motions was a motion to undertake a restructure with the intention to replace the CEO. Now that's obviously very vague, ambiguous, and quite a heavy motion. So there's a little bit to unpack in that one. So that's why we've sort of given the administration time to get back to us with that report. Motion number 2 was a vote of no confidence in the mayor. We've already been through that process, and I don't think there's any further need to do it again. It's very tokenistic and has no outcome, and we just don't need to go through that process. Motion number 3 was regarding asking the council to basically vote of no confidence, particularly pertaining to the financial statements which have been presented at the original AGM. Now, as a council group, we've already accepted those financial statements, so it's kind of, again, really makes no sense for us to go back and say that we'd having no confidence in both mayor and CEO. We'd have to also have no confidence within ourselves. Motion number 4, presented by an actual Indigenous person in town, about the racial group. So that's one I've also put for 6 months out, just for a report to come back so we can have a look at that and see whether it's worth considering. And thank you for all the traditional custodians for showing up tonight. It's really appreciated and good to see some real interest in the activities of the town. Motion number 5 was the electors asked for a forensic audit of all financials. Again, that was, I feel, probably the most important of the motions that came to us, and so I've brought that one. I've put that one at the front of the group of reports to come to us in October. So I just feel that sort of encapsulates the earlier financial stuff that we've already scratched, and also encapsulates the no confidence stuff. So yeah, that's the reason that I've put those in a particular order that we have, and I think there's some of those motions in there that are quite irrelevant to us at this point.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McRae. Councillor Button.
I have to agree with number 2. We've actually already visited the vote of no confidence in the mayor. I feel that actually giving the council or the staff the time to actually deal with the financials and actually do that at a later date, as it's not really, to go through the other motions, you really need to have your ducks lined up in a row, and I think that we need to do that. Thank you.
That's all? Okay, thank you. Councillor Gates? Yep, Councillor Rebello.
Evening, everyone. I would like for our council, and I would call on our council, to vehemently oppose all the 3 motions that my fellow councillor would like to pass, and I would like to go through them point by point. The first, motion number 5, that says the electors don't have confidence in the annual financial reports, and they are calling for a forensic audit. Now, let me read out an explanation that was provided by the administration. This is for the benefit of those in the gallery, those listening in online, and also my fellow councillors. A forensic audit is usually conducted to examine a defined scope of work and to identify and generate evidence to be used in legal proceedings. Now, let me say here, the financial reports have gone through an internal audit. They have, might I add, gone through an external audit, which was evidence-based. It was then put to council, where the council has voted for it and moved it. I do not see why that should come up now, and I don't see the point of putting administration through all of this work when we have gone through it, we have passed it, and I don't see the point of why it should come back again. Coming to motion number 4, and makes my heart feel sorry as a person of color, as someone who's grown up in a country that was colonized and that now has moved to a country where I feel like we talk of bridging the gap, we talk of reconciliation, and then we are taking away that which has been like a welcome to country and respect being shown to the people of this land. Why would you want to take that away? I don't see how that will bridge any gap. If anything, we have to extend that partnership further. Thank you. I feel like at this point, words cannot describe what I'm feeling in my heart, but I'm very grateful to everybody who has turned up here, to all my Indigenous fellow community people. Thank you for coming here tonight. And I would say I vehemently oppose motion number 4. I do not see how this can even come to council. I reject this notion, and I would urge my fellow councillors to do the same. Which brings me to the third, motion number 1. Here we are asking for 2 things. Firstly, we are saying undertake a restructure with the intention of replacing the CEO. Restructure is different from replacing the CEO, and might I remind my fellow council member that it is the council that has appointed the CEO, and the only way of going ahead and working with the CEO is through the CEO performance, and there is no other way to do that. So in my opinion, all the 3 motions should be rejected, and I would request my fellow council members to consider the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bowen. Is anyone else for the motions? Sorry, the amendment. Anyone else against?
So I'll put my hand up to go against to start with, but in different terms to the current conversation we just had, so bear with me. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a croaky voice at the moment. So I'll go through similar to what the mover has done and step by step on each motion that was presented during this presentation. But first I wanted to speak through the conversation that was just had to my right against. I want to make sure that the audience and the people listening in tonight are very clear and very understood that regardless of this current motion being carried or not carried, we are not making a determination on any of these items tonight. All we are doing is all we're pretty much doing is asking for the administration to either present a report so the conversation and the debate can be had, or it cannot be had. That's all we're asking for. So I want to make sure we're clear, because in my mind, the way I just heard that debate just then was insinuating that this is going to be the final decision, and I want to make it very clear it's not. So that said, in relation to motion number 1, I'm not supportive of asking the administration to put a report. As indicated before in the officer's recommendation, the CEO position cannot be addressed through a restructuring process, and the proposed motion lacks foundation for ensuring procedural fairness. Therefore, I recommend acknowledging the suggested motion without requesting a report and maintaining the current management of the CEO through the established policies and procedures. Please note that we have a CEO Performance Review Committee that reports back to the elected members, providing a more appropriate mechanism for managing the CEO and his contract. So again, motion 1, I'm not supportive of a report being asked for that reason. Motion 2, not supportive. As we are aware, debating a motion of no confidence is inherently risky and rarely yields tangible results, regardless of the vote's outcome. Furthermore, the council has already expressed by an absolute majority their lacking confidence in the Mayor Peter Carter and his ability to conduct himself effectively. So therefore, I'm recommending that we do not, that we note the motion expressing the community's frustrations in Mayor Peter Carter without requesting a formal report being created. In relation to motion 3, I'm not supportive of a report, as the officer's reports clearly clarify, and also, as mentioned in the first and second motion, excuse me, that the financial statements, as has been mentioned from my fellow colleague, has had numerous eyes over it through internal, external auditors. It's gone to council, it has been approved, and it also went to our electors where it was carried unopposed. Again, that one also then has, the motion 3 also calls into question the performances of the 2 members I've already mentioned. So again, I will support, I will also be requesting council do not suggest a report. Motion 4 is going to be the contentious one. I'm open to allowing for a report to be presented, and the reason I'll suggest this is, again, I do acknowledge that the acknowledgement to country is vital in Australia in recognising the enduring connection of Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islander peoples to the land, waters and communities in which we live. It serves as a respectful acknowledgement of their role as the traditional custodians of the land, honouring their culture, heritage and contributions to society. This practice fosters greater understanding and respect amongst all Australians, promoting reconciliation and the importance of inclusivity and through community values. Now, the reason I'd ask this to go to a report is I've always been taught there's always 2 sides of the argument, there's always 2 sides of a story. Now, for me, reconciliation for me is not so much just about directing and telling people how it's going to be. It's about trying to help and trying to educate on both sides. I think there's a lot of learnings that can be done in a group conversation. I think the Aboriginal culture is a massive culture in Australia, but it's a very proud culture that has been explained by Ray Ling. It's the longest living culture in the world, and it should be shared and it should be recognised. So, and the reason I'm suggesting this comes to a report, because I'm very confident that the support around the table will see this motion carry through without any shadow of a doubt to be supported, to allow this great practice to continue on through our town. Again, that's the sentiments that I have in relation to this. I'm not, again, I'll make it very clear, I'm not putting my position out there as a councillor on where I would vote either way on this. Just happy to have that brought to the front to have that conversation. And motion 5, again, as we spoke around, it talks a lot around the finances. It's been mentioned more times than I care to count. I just want to see this debate squashed once and for all. It's been spoken about for the last 2.5 years. I'm quite frankly over it, so I'd like to see a report driven up to see what validity it does have, and then let it rest where it lays after the debate. So that's my stance on that. So again, I'm not supportive of this current amendment, because I wouldn't support motion 1. And again, I'll allow for this amendment to go through whether it passes and carries, and then I'll do what I need to do after that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Is anyone else for? Anyone else against? Councillor Turner.
Through the chair, certainly like to acknowledge the attendance of our Aboriginal community, our elders, and appreciate the representation and the commitment to come out to have your voice and to be heard. I would strongly urge my fellow councillors not to support this amendment, not to take action. I will speak to each of the motions as they were presented in the original report. So if we look at motion 1, I don't think in any way the town of Port Hedland can be expected to undertake a review of itself with the explicit intent of removing the CEO. You know, that's the wording here. So, you know, I couldn't imagine how many, the statutory requirements that must breach. The term restructure is actually completely ill-defined. You have actually no idea what that means. It's not specific. We don't know what that would look like. And no one has provided the definitions, the parameters around that. I think that notion is absolutely ridiculous. The intention to remove the CEO, as it's been expressed, again, that has an explicit outcome, and the legality of that should and would be tested in the courts. It ignores the existing mechanisms that we have around CEO performance review, and it already demonstrates a predisposed bias to the outcome that they're seeking. It would also generate massive instability and a lack of confidence in the organisation by the community, by the corporate sector, the business sector, and by government. This council is already on notice, and this would send a red flag, just another red flag. So I think it breaches the statutory processes and robs the CEO of any procedural fairness. Motion 2 has already been mentioned. We've already been down this path, so I don't think there's any requirement to revisit another motion of no confidence. Motion 3, I think it's worth noting because in the electors meeting we actually have a councillor who moved the motion, which adversely impugns on the city member and the employer, and that actually represents a breach. So that should be explored. In terms of the financial statements, you know, we've had quite rigorous and robust and independent audits. They have come up through the ARC. They have been passed by the council. So I'm not sure why we need to revisit this once again. And similarly, I would make the same arguments for motion 5. In terms of motion 4, the move to not recognise any racial group before a meeting begins. I'm shocked by the move. I think it's truly appalling. It shows a depth of disrespect which I think is deplorable. Welcome to country and acknowledgement to country is about respect, it's about recognition, it's about reconciliation, inclusion, at a minimum, cultural awareness. This motion would seek to do away and ignores what are the long-standing and important, and I'll use this word deliberately, meaningful protocols that recognise the very special place that First Nations people have fought for. So this is what, you know, Raylene has said, fought for. We're not going back. You know, we have a commitment. You know, we need to recognise and respect, and we need to protect those rights that have been hard fought. These protocols are no way meaningless. So I want to say that very strongly to the chamber, because there's people in this chamber that have made that statement. So I think we as a council have already failed when we failed to support the Aboriginal Partnerships Plan. What I would say, let's not fail a second time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. Is there anyone else for?
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Councillor.
Point of clarification, if I can, please.
Yes.
Councillor Turner, you just mentioned that a sitting member has moved a motion that we are debating tonight. Can you please, I must have missed something because I haven't seen it. Can you enlighten me on where that is, please?
If you look at page 33 of 109 on the main agenda, you've got the motion has been moved by Councillor Sven Arentz.
And then how? And in what way does that suggest a breach, please?
Because I think it impugns on the what's the motion?
Yes, and a point of clarification is required because if a member, as we all know, a member cannot make a statement that I believe is to be factually incorrect because...
That's okay, I'm prepared to answer it. So it's with the great votes represented by no confidence in the Mayor Peter Carter and CEO Carl Askew with regards to the financials and financial statements.
Okay, thank you.
So confirm, what page number please?
33 of 109. That's in the main agenda, printed agenda.
Okay, I'm confused because I don't believe Councillor Arentz had moved any motions of the last meeting. So
So that.
Do you like a 5-minute recess?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
That's probably easier.
okay, we'll do a 5-minute recess at 6. Sorry, back at 6:34 p.m. Councillor Turner, would you like to talk to that?
Just referencing, I've made a mistake in my interpretation of the information, so my apologies, Councillor Rents.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Turner. Thank you, Councillor Rents. Okay, still back. Yes, it was for. It was against. Against, yep. Councillor Rents.
I'll just sort of sum up quickly because everyone's sort of been over it quite a bit, and I'd like to reiterate what Deputy Mayor Christensen said, is that this is not the time, this is not the debate for all of these motions. These will all come back, that we will get into great detail and great debate on all of these motions when if they come up. I'm going against this amendment just purely because I originally came into this thinking that none of the motions were warrant for a report or debate or discussing, as everyone else has already stated, that a lot of these are just rehashing already made decisions. I probably won't go through them in all great detail as everyone else has, as I said, because if they do get up, then we'll go through them then. I, first of all, as I said, more than respect the people's, the electors' wishes and voices to be able to come and move these motions. That's why I, after the AGM, put in a fair bit of effort to get the special electors meeting held so that we could hear from the people and hear what they wanted to bring up. Again, now that we've had that, we've had the motions moved and carried at the time. It's now up to us to decide whether it is worth the time and effort and the debate and all the extra workload to go through these things. And as I said, I don't think any 5 of them really warranted a full report and a special spot on any agenda. I'm more than willing to go into the debates of the nights, and as other people have said, I'm interested to see both sides of the story. My thoughts on all of them were that they didn't carry any weight and didn't need a report at all. The agenda that we have tonight, the comments pretty much sum it up of why they're not needed. The motions have either been already done and made and rehashing old debates and issues that we've been sorted out. So yeah, I would recommend that we would not get this up and just keep moving on and note that these are the thoughts and the feelings of the electors and the community, and we will note them and take them on board, but I don't feel like there is any action required from them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rents. Is anyone for? Those against? I'll also vote against this motion. All the motions here tonight, I mean, yeah, they're from the electors. But one thing I must say, item number 4, I enjoy coming to council and say, welcome to country. It's a great honour to do that to the people here in the gallery. It's a great honour to do it out in the field when I'm out talking to resource companies, mining companies, all over the Pilbara, anywhere I go, saying welcome to country. It's an honour. Thank you very much. What did I put to the vote? Oh, sorry, sum up. Sorry.
I want to reiterate what the Deputy Mayor has said with regard what we're actually voting on up here. It's not a. It's been this. It's quite a disingenuous discussion from a couple of councillors tonight, insinuating that we are voting on a motion of some kind of racism or some kind of pushback on the the welcome to country and the respect of our elders past, present, emerging. It's got nothing to do with that. Like, there's certainly been some implication that I lean one way or the other. That's not the case. We do live in a representative democracy, and our electors have asked us to put some motions forward. So all we're asking of the council is to give us a report of the information so we can look at it and we can have a genuine discussion over whether or not this is even worth debate. It may not be even worth debate. It doesn't come back in 6 months with a debate. It just comes back with a report to show us why we shouldn't even have a debate. That's what this whole thing is about. Also, this to do with the finance and to do with obviously the issue with saying the CEO. This is stuff that I've deliberately put months and months out that we can discuss, and we can change that as we go. But the electors in a representative democracy, if the electors come into our council meetings and they vote absolute majority, not absolute majority, but unanimous, it was 12-0, 15-0 for these people that asked for these motions to be brought forward. So all we're asking for is for the reports to come from council, to give us the reports on the finances in 3 months, to give us reports on if it's worth debating on something as ridiculous as saying we acknowledge our traditional custodians, and also if it's worth us even having a debate over our finances. Now, for those of you that are new to the room that I haven't seen here before, the reason the people of the town, and many of you may be aware, in 23 and 24, the town spent far more than a lot of people expected. We spent $180 million with a revenue base of about $90 to $100 million. So a lot of people are asking questions around that. Now, of course, there are reasons, and that was voted on, but there's a lot of query around it. There's a lot of pushback in the community. So the community has come to our council meeting and asked us to discuss it and debate it. And who are we as elected representatives? We should be just at least acknowledging and giving at least the decency to the people that come week in, month out to our ordinary council meeting to say, okay, we've done a report. This may be worth debating. This may not be worth debating. I'm sad that there's an Indigenous one in there. It was mostly financial. It was mostly political stuff at the high level, which had nothing to do with the Indigenous one. And what I add, even though it was voted unanimous at our ordinary council meeting for to get rid of the acknowledgement of our traditional owners and our traditional custodians and our elders. This was put forward by a local Indigenous man. So again, it's probably ridiculous. And of course, none of us are putting our hand up to say, oh, this is which way we're going to vote or which way even think on the subject. But if the people of the town, if you guys were all here at that meeting, it would never have gotten over the line. We wouldn't even be talking about it now. We'd only be talking about financial issues of the town. So I'm glad that you're here. I hope you keep coming. But as far as I'm concerned, all we're looking for is reports from our administration to acknowledge and pay respect to those electors of the town that come to our meetings and ask us to have this discussion. That's all it's about. So I'm sorry if the disingenuous discussion from certain councillors to point that this is, even bringing this up is racist. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd because...
Sorry, no, sorry, you can't. Sorry, thank you.
So, anyway, yeah, it's for mine, it's we've got a group of electors that come to us and asked us to do something, and if we don't do it, then are we really representing our people, if that's what our people have asked us to do? So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll now put it to the vote, to the motions. All those in favour? To the amendments. Yeah, all those in favour of the amendments? Is your hand up? Two. Those against? Motion's lost. So the motion? Yep. Which had a
And
second.
requesting a secondary amendment, thank you.
Certainly.
Yeah. Requesting same, just drop off motion 1, please, and requesting a report to be fed back on motion 4 and motion 5, thanks. And just remove the timeframes, we can deal with the timeframes later.
So is there a seconder for that? No, motion's lost. Motion's lapsed. Yep, okay. Okay. Office recommendation. Okay. We had a move and a second of the office recommendation. Yep. Second. Yep. Okay, so we've got the office recommendation. We've got Councillor Rentz move and Councillor Vallow seconded. Is there anyone against that motion now? Okay. Councillor Christensen. Okay. Sorry, Councillor Vallow.
Just through the chair.
Yeah.
If I could have some clarification as to, is there a second amendment that we are looking at, or are we looking at the original?
The original amendments are
The original motion
original motion.
as
Second
per
one
the
lapsed.
officer's recommendation.
Correct.
And we are voting on that one?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yep. Councillor Rentz. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I'll keep this short and sweet again. So I believe that we should push this through as the officer's recommendation by noting all the motions passed at the electors' special meeting and moving on. While I do respect Councillor McRae and Councillor Deputy Mayor Christensen's thoughts on, well, if people have asked us to bring them forward and talk about them, then we should. And if they do, I'm more than happy to read through the reports, go away and do some deep thinking and come and debate them on the night with feeling and passion on all of them that were to get up. But I just feel like that we have been through them enough. And sort of in the background and at different council meetings, and that they're not worth rehashing, as I said. I think we have done enough speaking about them in the background, and I'm happy with where we're at. So we note that we should note that the what was said and the feelings and the thoughts, but I don't think there was anything on there that's really required to get into and debate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Vallow. Councillor Vallow.
Yes. Just gathering my thoughts here. So I would like to say that we are here to note and receive the electors' meeting minutes. There were 2 of them conducted, one on the 15th of May and one on the 19th of June. And we are here to note the motions that were passed as well, and that it goes ahead just as it was. I would request the council to reject any notion of having any sort of a report prepared on motion number 4, that we don't recognize any racial group, because here we are talking about our First Nations people, our indigenous people, who were here first. They are being recognized, they're being respected, and I don't see why we need to spend resources to create a report to present what we already know and we feel. So we feel it in our heart. We know what we are doing. We're doing the right thing. If anything, we have to take further steps. If I can say that we have to look at bringing the partnership plan back, and that is what the council needs to do. So I would urge my fellow council members to move item number 12.1.3 just in the original form as per the officer's recommendation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Bello. Is anyone against? Councillor Christensen.
Yep, so I'll be going against. So again, in theory, I'm not opposed to what councillors are saying around the table. Again, I'm disappointed that we are sitting here trying to preempt a decision of council before the time it even comes to have that debate. We're debating the facts of the moral ground here, and it's not what we're here to do. You state right now that it's here to say we're here to note. The officer's recommendation is to note. I draw your attention to the administration regulations where it suggests that we must not just note the understandings, that we must consider. Now, I ask all councillors here today, how must we consider when we haven't had a discussion first? The discussion comes once we become educated through reporting and through mechanisms of reports. So again, the whole idea of this is to give considered recognition to these items. Again, I challenge councillors now, how do we consider them when they purely simply we just read a bit of paper from an administration to say, note, 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 note. Again, I'm not going to get into the intricacies of the debate on the merits because again, I think I'm talking the same language that you guys will be talking. Again, in my eyes, this opens opportunities for us to help educate. This opens up the opportunity to do more. We sit here and we say that it's not tokenistic. Respectfully, I see tokenism in a lot of the stuff when we do deliver it. Why? Is because, again, respectfully, we sit in these chambers multiple times with different meetings and not once do we do acknowledgement to country. So again, yes, I do get frustrated with it when we have these two sides of the debate. I will bleed for the culture of this, and I'm more than happy to support this. But again, when it comes down to the facts and figures, I don't think that we're doing our due diligence as the authorised body here to take under consideration. And again, I'm happy to be corrected. If we think we've considered this matter and all these matters, must have missed the memo because I don't think I was at these meetings when this consideration was taking place. So again, purely for the fact that I was amending this motion, I will go against it because again, I can't put my hand up, say I want to amend it and then support it. So again, don't disagree with the actual the officer's recommendation to an extent of the body of their report and how they presented it. However, I do feel that we as an organisation are missing a great opportunity here to actually show where the town actually lies with these sort of items. So that's my piece of the puzzle. So again, thanks very much for the debate, and honestly, thanks everybody for coming through tonight. It's always good when the galley gets filled up with passionate people. This town is built off passion. It's built off a lot of things. So thanks very much for the hard fought debate, guys.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Christensen. Anyone else for? Anyone else against? Oh, sorry, Councillor Turner. For.
I am for.
Yep.
So I'm for the noting. I think there are some interesting points that have been raised, and I think what it does highlight to me is the importance for the whole community to engage in what is the civic discourse and political economy. So that is important, but I in no way believe that certainly motion 4, whilst it reflects the electors that attended the meeting, in no way does it reflect, in my opinion, the views and beliefs held by the wider community. And in terms of motion 5 and those related to the financials, those financials have been rigorously tested and have been audited by independent auditors, and so for that reason, I'm happy to note, and we'll move on from there.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Turner. Anyone else against? Yes, Councillor McRae.
Going back to what we talked about earlier, it's just as far as democracy goes, especially at the local level. Local government is the level of government that has the most access and face time with the people that actually put their hand up and vote. And our electors in this town and most towns, you get one chance per year. There's one electors meeting per year. And they get to come in this chamber and they tell us what they want us to do. And they vote amongst themselves. We have no say. We sit back and just watch what happens. And they ask us to do something. They get one chance. And if we sit back here after their one time per year, and they come in here and they ask us to just discuss something, and we just say, yeah, we ignore that, say, yeah, no, we thought about it, but that's good luck to you. I pity what becomes of democracy in that situation, because people should be given their voice. It doesn't matter how, the beauty of democracy, if you don't have robust debate on every issue, you don't have democracy. And whether it's having a vote of no confidence in the mayor, or whether it's some people saying we don't want to have the paying their respect elders past, present, emerging, whatever it is, it's just a debate. It's a subject for discussion that the people of the town have asked us to discuss as your elected body, and for us to say, and that's only one part of the entire discussion that was had at the annual special electors meeting. So again, it's not. I'm sad that sort of racism has been brought into this, and the sort of implications that I feel one way or the other. I think everyone on this table will be voting absolutely in your favour in that discussion, but there's a bunch of motions there that we're not even going to be able to discuss because certain members of this body say no. The electors have asked us to do something at their one chance per year. We're just going to ignore it, and to me that's very sad, because how do you as electors of the town, people of the town, get to have your say and get the town to debate something on your behalf if we just ignore it when you bring it to us? And I think that sets a dangerous precedent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else for the motion? Anyone against? Councillor Rich, you want to sum up?
Thank you. Well, there's some very, very, very good points brought up from all sides there, and I would be lying if I didn't say that it made me think a fair bit. To everybody's credit, it is the one time that the electors get to bring forward things, and we should be doing the due diligence to discuss it and educate ourselves on it. I respect that, and I feel that it is. I just don't feel that the motions carry much weight, and that the outcomes would be very beneficial when they've been hashed over. So for that reason, I will be voting for. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll now put it to the vote. All those in favour? 4. Those against? 3. Let's go. Thank you, councillors. All right, let's move on. 5.2, 5.6. We're done up to 12.1.6? Yes. That came out, I just pulled that out. Yeah, okay. 25. Okay, move on to number 12.1.6. Corporate Business Plan Quarter Report 2023-24, Quarter 4. We have office recommended before us that requires a simple majority vote. The council received and notes a corporate business plan quarter report for the period April to June 2024. Can I have a mover, please? Through. Thank you, Councillor Rebello. I have a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Turner.
Now that we have a live motion, Mr. Mayor, if you may, section 12.1 of the standing orders, can I please request that the motion be deferred until the next OCM meeting, please?
OCM meeting. Okay, is there a second?
Corporate business plan. Fair enough. 12.1. Deferred. So, Mr. Mayor, just for FYI, you asked for a seconder, yes, and then you come back to me, and then I'll let you know why I'm doing it. And then we exactly go. Right. Yeah, thank you very much.
So, is there a seconder for that? Yeah, Councillor Rents.
Right, for everyone's FYI, the only reason I'm asking for this, and again, you'll see I didn't put my hand up when we asked for all due consideration with the week that we had. Obviously, fairly busy. I myself personally haven't given it due consideration. Being it's the last quarter of the year for the CBP and coming into the CEO's performance review, I think it's very important that council have feedback into that. I was at the agenda feedback session. There was no feedback that I remember outside of one line of maybe 80, 90 of those line items. So my suggestion is, and I'd feel more comfortable if we deferred it until next month to allow us to get together to, I guess, debate in more detail any other concerns there might be. But again, that's just my personal feeling on it. So I'm happy to put it to the vote and see what other councillors say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, councillor. All those in favour of moving it?
This is vote to defer.
Vote to defer. Yep. Okay. Yep. 7-0. Okay. Thank you, councillors. Up to now. 12.2 community services. There is nil. There's 12.3 in the on block. I was trying to think.
Tom, any chance you can put those on block lists back up so we can see which ones we're debating?
I think 12.3 wasn't on the list, Trisborough.
I don't know whether this one was.
12.3.1.
I think we are because it's got some absolute majorities in there, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we'll go through it. Okay. 12.3.1. Regular services, the Port Hedland Visitor Centre Tender Award.
Before we go through too much detail, Mr. Mayor, if I may,
yes.
Under section 5.2 of the standing orders, can I request that council break tradition and move this item to the back of the agenda, please? This will.
As a late item?
No, this will just go to the back end of the item. I don't know what it goes to. I'm sure governance can tell me where it does belong. 15, please. So into the last item on 15.1.2, I now believe it will become. This will allow us then. Yeah, my next item would be to take this behind closed doors with another vote.
Okay,
again, I'm just preempting everyone's decision here, but I thought we'll go first. Let's see if we can get the votes to move it to the back of the meeting, please, first.
Yep. All right. Is there a seconder for that? Yep. Councillor Bala. Anyone against? No. Okay. Passed. Yep. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. No worries. Okay. Okay. 12.2.3 was on block. 12.33 was on block. 12.41 was on block. 4.2 was on block. Let's go down to 12.5, Executive Services, 12.5.1, Capital Grants Application, CSRFF. We have an office recognition before it that requires a simple majority vote. The Council endorses an application for a Community Sporting Recreation Facility Fund, the CSRFF, for $2.5 million for Stage 1B of the South Hedland Integrated Sports Hub Pavilion. Can I have a mover, please? Mover, thank you, Councillor Christensen. Is there a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Turner. Is anyone against the motion? Against. The mover.
It is unusual and unique, but I am unusual and unique, so.
Oh, really? Okay.
Happy if you want to take some time to have a think about it, but.
I think there were others against as well, Councillor. I just think it's unusual. You've moved it.
Okay, Councillor. Yeah, we had you're against it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, happy days.
Yep. He's for and against.
No, I'm a mover. I'm a mover.
So you speak for it first. Then you. Oh, no. Speak. Okay. Yep.
Right. This will be one of the motions that I'm pretty disappointed that it got this far. There's some pretty good discussion at closed door chamber meetings with the briefings. I made it pretty clear my intentions and my feelings towards, I guess, council publicly, I guess, pursuing specific elements in relation to the Shish Sporting Hub. And I guess some of my concerns are also a reference to everyone seems to think around this table that the SHISH hasn't changed its scope. The SHISH hasn't changed at all since its inevitable approval from us. And I'll sit here and I'll speak until the cows come home to say that I oppose those thoughts, and I oppose anyone that wants to say that, again, that we're in the position to be going out for funding currently for a specific item to a specific project in this relation. I draw a reference to the budget we just approved on Monday night. When we reference the documents that we've cost, we did a cost estimate that was approved in September of 2022, where we broke down the SHIS into multiple stages. I'll give you some address. So SHIS stage 1A takes into comparison and takes into consideration the Hudson Way entry road. That is now part of section C. Now, there was no formal communications made from council to administration to indicate that, and yet we've now changed the project and project scope. Stage 1C, I'll challenge anyone who would ever remember what the actual high-level cost estimates were for 1C, which was the Hamilton Road intersection. That was at $1.2 million. Now, if you can remember back to the capital works project we just approved, we're now looking at $3.5 to $4 million just for that one project 1C. These are my concerns. At the end of the day, we as a council group have had an indication and had a conversation to say that we need some more time to get together to have that conversation. That conversation has been had. We now have agreed to catch up with some more workshops to work together to work out how all this goes through. And unfortunately, again, to me, I don't see how this grant right now is going to help us deliver what we are in the middle of talking to. If anything, it's going to hinder. And I hate sitting here saying what I'm saying right now. We are bringing publicly our I guess, discourse and our dishevelry on this project in specific. This project is meant to be the one project that brings us up out of the heat, for lack of a better word. You know, we are sitting stagnant for so long, and this was meant to be the one project that we could, you know, sit and put our flag in to say, look what we've done, look what we can accomplish. Again, in my eyes, this is nothing more than putting the cart before the horse. And again, to me, doesn't sit well personally. And again, it's what we're here to do. We're here to debate, so I'm happy to hear what anybody else has to say. But outside of, I know some of the debates will be that it's 3 years we can spend it, we can sit and wait. You know, we're always going to have a pavilion. But again, in order to put these reports forward, we move forward and we present the information we've got at hand. How can we do that, knowing that we're going to have a workshop together that will potentially change the spectrum of that? We are now preempting more decisions. So, me, it doesn't sit right personally. I've made it pretty clear with that, and hopefully I've made it abundantly clear here tonight. So, interested to see what other talking points there are to change my mind to go the other side. But other than that, I'll wait to see what they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Christensen. Councillor Turner.
Yeah, I think we are all very well aware of what your concerns have been. The SHISH master plan was initially endorsed in 2019. The pavilion itself was endorsed in 2020. And we've now modified the SHISH, I don't know how many times, it's hard to keep up. I think, in that discussion that we had last week in our briefing, I think it was acknowledged that, yes, we would have a pavilion. What that pavilion looks like and where it's located, I think that is obviously going to be a point of debate and further discussion. But what this grant allows us to do is to apply for the funding that will go towards the planning and design and the progressing of the proposal. I am at a loss to understand what is the vision of this council for South Hedland and for the amenities. And I don't think that we should be, I think it would be a lost opportunity which further delays, and I don't think we can afford to lose that. So, this is a part of our future social infrastructure. I mean, if you look at the investment that we've made, I don't know, I mean, you look at the pavilion, that would be the future home, presumably of the Swans. And we're going to put that on hold again, and you know, the other user groups. I just think that we need to move on the grant. As Councillor Christian just said, you know, it's something that if we were successful, we would have 3 years to draw down, and that allows us time for further deliberations and considerations. So I think we should actually move on the opportunity.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. Is anyone against? Yes, Councillor McRae.
In our briefing last week, the administration made it very clear that these funds, if we were to get them, are not to be used for design and engineering of a new facility. They have to be. We have to submit our engineered designs and drawings in the application itself. So that sort of doesn't really make any sense. Why would we be applying for something that we've, as a group, have said we're no longer pushing forward with? It's kind of embarrassing. It puts us in a very awkward predicament within the government. Even having this debate is kind of quite embarrassing. So, yeah, I can't endorse it.
Okay, thank you, Cam. So, anyone else for? Yes, Councillor Bello.
Right. So this is a grants application, and that is just what it is. It doesn't take away the franchise of the ability of the council to go ahead and look at the long-term financial plan or look at the SHISH master plan. As my fellow councillor has already said, that these plans have been in the works for the last 5 years, and it is quite sad that we have had to revisit it so many times. But even so, it is democracy, it is how it is. And if the council has decided to go ahead and review these plans, we have the next 6 months to do that. The grant application process in no way takes that ability of the council away. So let me clarify that. It is, I find it ridiculous that it's being called embarrassing. It doesn't in any way take away what our powers as a council is and our ability is to review the SHISH project. We will review it, but let the grant process go on. And as far as the design and drawings are concerned, when you ask for a grant, you have to submit a design and drawing. We have 3 years to draw on that grant. If we decide not to go ahead with it in the format in which it is, we don't go ahead with it then. That choice or that ability to decide still lies with the council. So I would urge fellow council members to go ahead and vote for it and say that, you know what, if we have to apply for a grant, let's do that. But the process of reviewing still continues. That ability doesn't go away. So it's not one or the other. Just want to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rebello. Anyone else against? Yes, Councillor Ritz.
I won't get into too much details on what the changes that we are wanting to discuss and everything. I'll try and keep it just about the grant. One thing that I was tried to push when I got onto council was in integrity around the council, and a big part of that is saying what we're going to do and doing it. While I am definitely not against the grant, I just feel like that it's probably a bit, as Deputy Mayor put before, cart before the horse, in knowing that we have a lot of big discussions to make some big changes to what we want to do. I don't think it's a smart move to go and put a grant forward with the designs and everything, and then after 3 years' time go and build something completely different. It's not a good look to the government or the people that we're applying to for. I know that we have the right to change it and amend it and go through, but I just feel like that it would be sloppy and sort of detrimental to do so. I feel like we should get all of our ducks in a row and then go forward once we are back on top of it and everybody is happy. Again, not against going for the grant at all. I just think it's not the right time to do so. Cheers.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Rents. Anyone else for? I'll let you vote for this grant. I mean, $2.5 million of free money. That's how I look at it. And, you know, we've got a state election coming around soon. We've got a federal election coming around soon. This is just part of the whole big picture. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts in SHIS, and there's a lot of probably grant money becoming available. And $2.5 million, it's a start. I mean, it's basically, we always say, you know, the town donates billions of dollars every year to the state and federal government, and this is our opportunity to get some back. You know, $2.5 million. It's a start. It's not using our own money. This is the free money we can apply for, and I think the administration do a great job applying for every bit of grant money that's out there, because we need that grant money, and this is for our community. This is stage one of our community. I mean, it's a very, very important part, and I hope the councillors get behind this, because I mean, you know, as I said, once again, $2.5 million. I know it's not a lot in the big scheme of things, but it's a start. Okay, thank you. Anyone else against?
Yeah, I'm against it. I said there was a big discussion about probably 4 to 6 weeks ago where we all agreed that we would do stage 1A, and that's where we would have everything done and the concept drawings for the roundabout, and everything would stay on hold, as the director actually did indicate that she would give us up workshops, and if it took 6 months, it took us 6 months to get it right. I think applying for this grant at the moment is not the right time to do it, whereas we can apply for it again next year. And I think there's a long way to go. A new council coming in last year, you know, not many of us knew much about what was going on, and there wasn't any workshops to start with, and then you get lumped with everything as usual. And I think that maybe the grant process should be applied for next year when we are a bit more aware on which way we're going. And I just think at the moment it's just not the right time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Button. Okay, Councillor Christian, sum up, please.
Yeah, righto. A fair bit to unpack from what everyone's been saying. So again, reiterate what Councillor McRae did say. Councillor Turner's debate was a little bit two-sided, where he did even reference himself that we do have drawings and when they were approved, and then in the same statement saying the $2.5 million will go to help towards that. Again, this is what I'm saying. This is where I think the confusion of where we really are and at what stage we are going to be at for. I asked there, again, the true cost. And at any point in time, I'm more than happy to have a personal explanation if any councillor feels the need to shout it out, because I still don't know the answer. Do we understand the true cost of the SHIS as a whole, the SHIS stage 1, 1A, 1B, 1C? These are the big world conversations that we should be understanding before we go through that, because Mr Mayor, in your statement where you say $2.5 million of free money, again, in my mind, nothing's free. Usually when we have money approved to us, we will then have to expend that and then some normally. So again, money, we've been in this position before where we've requested money, we get money, and guess what? We go outside of our actual remit and we start to drive in a direction that wasn't pre-emphasised. And I'll give you a key example. Although it's a great building and it's a great addition to our town, the building across the road was not on our radar to be built in that time frame when it was. Again, that's what you get when we start to ask for money that we don't have an indication for. Again, Councillor Mbika, when you stated your, you know, it doesn't stop us from looking into the future. Well, I disagree. Excuse me, I'm still talking. Again, my opinion is, I believe it is. I believe it can do, because in my perception and my experiences in the past, if council get together, have a discussion, and the vision changes, and we've applied for this, we received this $2.5 million, I would be more embarrassed to have to give back $2.5 million of money because we have changed the scope. We have been bitten so many times with scope change throughout projects in my last three and a bit years that I've been on council, and again, many years I've been in town. But again, I'll draw a reference. Trust me, that no one hurts more having to push this away than me. I can promise you that right now, because you know certain councillors say 5 years journey. I've been on this journey for over 15 years. I was a part of one of the very original conversations when the SHIS was very first mentioned, when we were talking about just one one little development. So again, I feel the pain, I know the pain, and guess what? I'll be most probably getting some nice phone calls at the end of this meeting from my fellow people I used to be in sporting groups with. But it comes to a time where I've got to sit here and go, my personal feeling and my professional opinion on this matter is, again, I think this is detrimental to us right now because we, in my opinion, aren't ready to be asking for money to be spent in a location because we still haven't come to a consensus yet as a group. We have made a council decision, but there's some concerns around that. That council decision is fundamentally changed. And if anyone sits there and argued, no one argued that point. So I'm assuming we're in agreement that the fundamental concept and the scope of SHISH has changed dramatically. Otherwise, I would have hoped to hear some debate there. So that alone should trigger us to want to understand more before we continue on to throw money at a situation where we don't necessarily understand where it's going to be going. So again, personally, I think, again, as always, thanks for the debate. It's always a good time to have a good debate. But yeah, I strongly oppose this currently. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Christensen. We'll now put it to the vote. All those in favour? All those against? Motion is lost. 12.1 is on block. 12.2? That was on block. Yeah. Yep. 12.5.3. Okay. 12.5.3 attendance at conferences. We have two office recommendations before us. One recommendation requires a simple majority vote and 6 nominations for elected members to attend various of conferences. That council want to nominate and approve the following elected members to attend the Walga LGA conference on the 8th to the 10th of October 2024 in Perth. Councillors, are there any nominations for the Walga Local Government Convention? Councillor Christensen. It's the Walga conference. Yes. Councillor Rebello. And myself. Yeah, myself. Mr. Mayor. That's it. No one else? Yep. Okay. Yeah, it's those two. Yeah, okay. You got 3. You got. Yep.
Mayor, the Deputy Mayor and Councillor Rebello.
Yep. That's fine. Okay. And no. Oh, you got to get them. Oh, do you want to do this?
We've got the names.
Got the names? Okay.
They're on the screen.
On the screen. Okay. Can I get a mover for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Christensen. Have a seconder. Councillor Butson, thank you. Anyone against that motion? No. Motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. Second one. Recommendation number 2, that requires a simple majority vote. The council, 1, nominate and approve the following elected members to attend the National Local Government Housing Summit 2024 at the 15th and 16th of August 2024 in Adelaide. Councillor, are there any nominations for the National Local Government Housing Summit for 2024? Councillor Rents. Councillor Christensen. Councillor Bunsen. And myself. In Canberra, it's on the way back. Yeah. And myself as well. Yeah. Yeah.
4 nominations.
4 nominations. You got Councillor Rents, Councillor Christensen, Councillor Butson, and myself. Can I get a mover for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Christensen. A seconder. Councillor Rents, thank you. Anyone against the motion? Motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. Item number 13, urgent nature of an item, there is nil. Item number 14, motion for improvement must be given, there is nil. Item number 15, which meeting may be closed behind confidential items. We have 1 item. I believe that we will go behind closed doors. Sorry? 12.3.1. Can a motion be behind closed doors? Can a vote to go behind closed doors? Thank you, Councillor Christensen. A seconder. Thank you, Councillor Rebello. Members of the gallery, sorry, ever take a vote? All those in favour? To go behind closed doors? Yep, thank you. So, the time is 7:21 p.m. Thank you. Our audience, as you go behind closed doors, we ask you to please leave the gallery. Thank you.
we don't need the numbers in there, Tom.
No.
Yes.
To number 2. That was our first one, wasn't it? That was
Yes,
option 2.
that one lost.
Yep.
That one lost. Then we got to
Option number 2. Yep.
so, yep. In relation to recommendation 1, that's option 2.
That one 2. Yep.
Recommendation 2 is as printed. Recommendation 3
Lost. That's right. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Okay. Item number 12.3.1 was the Port Hedland Visitor Centre Award Tender. We had 3 offers recommendation. Option number 2 was to reject the tender directly to the CEO to negotiate directly with seafarers that aim to reducing the tender price and or reducing operation surplus by increasing the level of service provided and investing in the building maintenance interior fit out. Option number 2, sorry, recommendation number 2, the council endorse the inclusion of funds in the 2024-25 budget to address and identify building maintenance matters as detailed in attachment number 5. That passed 7-0. And recommendation number 3 lapsed. Okay, item number 16, closure. 16.1, the date of the next meeting. The date of the next ordinary council meeting will be held on Wednesday, the 28th of August 2024, commencing at 5:30 p.m. 16.2, closure. Being there no further business, either declare the meeting closed at 8:20 p.m. Just before we go, I'd also like to say thank you to all the staff and the events team for a wonderful job at the Cinefex Brie that they did last weekend. It was a great success. Thank you to all the team, to the town. A wonderful effort to you all. Thank you. And I'd also like to say thank you to members of the public and the staff for their time tonight. Thank you.